please settle down. Quite in the back, in the front, on the side, on top, underneath. Shut up! Please? Thank you. We're kind of pressed for time, so the less time you talk, the more time Buzz can talk. Thank you. Thank you, Will.
Shut the fuck up!
Even better. Okay. Before I introduce this last part of the event, I just wanted to let you know about the next Varsity Letters. It's December 4th, and we have the editors of Free Darko, who are out with a new book, Liz Robbins with a book about the New York City Marathon, and Gary Poole with the biography of Red Grange. Still talking back there. Steinberg, I'm looking at you.
Hey Stein, shut the fuck up!
Thank you, Drew. Okay, so for this last portion, all the questions you've been dying to ask all night, all of our readers will be up here. You might want to focus your first questions for Buzz because he has to catch a train back to Philly. And moderating, we're going to have former Deadspin editor and current contributing editor at New York Magazine, Will Leitch. So please welcome back everybody, and Will.
Honestly, Buzz, I think you have to sit next to me. The reason that I'm up here in the first place is because Carl wants the pictures of me and you. So, okay, so we'll go, for the record, before we actually start, I'd like to say that, like, Alto, whatever thoughts about anything, it was an absolute, like, I fucking loved Friday Night Lights. So, like, to be able to hear Buzz read from that was really pretty amazing. So, anyway, so I guess now we'll call out for questions. Who's got a question? I'm sorry, I don't see anyone.
Will.
Sorry, here, go ahead.
Yeah. Buzz, I was curious if you could talk a little bit about your reaction from Odessa as a writer over the years and how that's come back to you.
The initial reaction in Odessa was pretty awful. They really, a certain segment of the town hated the book and felt that I had betrayed them. Sort of this Yankee carpetbagger had come down to Odessa and had sold them a bill of goods. I was supposed to go down to Odessa to do a series of book signings that I had to cancel because of threats of bodily harm against me made at bookstores, and these were threats that were taken seriously. And I knew the people of Odessa, and I knew that they were serious, that they would have kicked the shit out of me if they'd seen me back. And to add to it, right when the book came out, Permian High School had just been thrown out of the playoffs. They've been banned from postseason play, and they've been turned in by the other high school in town, so things were really going crazy. Over the years, the reaction tempered. I went down in 2004 on the eve of the film, and people actually admitted that as much as they hated the book, as much as they hated me, the book, once they sort of read it, and once they let it sink in, was really a mirror that they had to look at, and they credited the book with making a lot of changes in the town. So over time, when I give Odessa credit, they sort of came around never to liking the book really, but to saying that it was a book that had to be written so the priorities of the town could change.
Did you like the movie?
I did like the movie. There were changes made, and I understood the changes. My feeling as a writer is no one puts a gun to your head to sell the rights. And when you sell the rights, you sell the rights. And when you sell them, there it goes. Unless you're Michael Crichton or John Grisham, and then you have some creative control. I had none. Having said that, I liked the grit of the film. I liked the way the handheld way it was shot. I thought some of the acting was spectacular. In particular, Lucas Black playing the quarterback. And I thought it got across the essential theme of the book, which was just the incredible pressure and intensity being placed on these kids, and their nobility in rising above it to become a team and almost getting to a state championship. So I did like it.
Yes, sir. You in the back.
Buzz, you have this beautiful, iconic title to the book. I'm wondering if you knew that was what you were going to call your book when you sat down to write it, or if it was something you thought of at the last minute where previously it was going to be called,
God Save the Family.
Actually, the original title was Men with Balls. The title literally came at the last second before it was going to the printer. I think the title I was kicking around was something like "Dreaming of Heroes" or something that I was trying to be elegiac and poetic. And we kept rejecting title after title, and we were having lunch and was about to go to the printer, and I just used the phrase Friday Night Lights in conversation because one of the kids would use it and said, when those Friday Night Lights go on, and the editor literally said, Jane, I say, she said, what did you just say? And I said, Friday, and I repeated it, and she said, that's it, that's the title. And that's how we came up with the title, and it has been iconic. I mean, it's kind of cool that everywhere, it's, I did create something in the American lexicon, which is kind of neat, but it came up at the last second, which is where all my titles come at the last second. I kick them around, and generally they're not very good until the book is ready to go to the printer.
Allow me to tell it to Hershey, who I'm currently working my next book with, and just give us time, we'll figure it out. Okay? Alright, next. Yes, sir.
This is for Buzz. You said you're still in touch with Booby Miles. What's he doing now?
Booby is when he hurt his knee, he was never meant to be a rocket scientist. He got absolutely no education at the school he was at, none at all. He's been in and out of jail mostly for petty offenses. The most recent was credit card fraud. He was in for 3 months. It was reduced to a misdemeanor. He's been in for not paying child support. He's had probably 14 or 15 different jobs. He's had 4 or 5 kids out of wedlock with 3 different women at least. He just recently went to air conditioning and refrigeration school, which I paid for. And what a fucking scam that is. Not in terms of Booby, but what they charge is unbelievable. It's an investigative piece unto itself. But I love Booby, and I try to help him out as I can to see maybe if he can get his life started. But normally what happens is it goes for a few months, or 2 or 3 months, or 4 months, or maybe even 6 months, and then the bottom falls out again, and he calls me in desperation. It'd be neat if he was here tonight. He talks very candidly about what happens when you get no education and you're basically treated as a football animal, which is what I was trying to get across in the reading. That's the way he was treated. And at the time, he thought it was exciting and great. Didn't have to do any homework. He actually got paid to play high school football. A booster, when he was a junior, he would go to his locker every Monday, and there would be an unmarked white envelope, and it would contain as many dollars as yards he had gained the previous Friday night. So when you're getting treated like that, you're going to think school is a joke anyway, and school was a joke to him until he got hurt, and then all of a sudden he was getting B's, A's and B's, and then he was getting D's and F's. So he's really had a dysfunctional life, and it's been hard to watch. Probably, as a journalist, it's been the most tragic thing that I've had to watch as a journalist, kind of the unraveling of Booby, and I don't think he'll ever really quite get it together.